Very important that you mark these points and that you give them a number so that we can keep track of them on here. Now I've found the easy ones, which are 12, 3, 6 and 9. So I'm going to mark those ones on. 12, 3, 6 and 9. I know that my curve is going around here somewhere, but I don't know exactly where it is. So I'm going to use some X and Y coordinates to find that for me. I'm looking for this point here, point number 1. What I have to do is drop a perpendicular line down until it hits this axis, until it hits that axis there. I'm now going to measure this distance using my compass. I step off this distance from the origin, and I go across here and I step off that same distance. Now if I'm feeling quite smart about the whole thing, I can see that because of the symmetry of a circle, point number 11 is also going to be the same distance away. So at the same time as I'm doing this one, I'm going to do this one. Now I'm going to draw myself two construction lines. One going up that way and another one coming up from there. Now again, thinking about the symmetry of a circle, that distance from there up to point number 1 should be the same as the distance from there to point number 5. And from there to point number 11 is the same as the distance down to point number 7. So while I'm drawing those lines up the way, I'm going to continue them down the way. So somewhere along this line, I don't know where yet, is point number 1. Somewhere along this line is point 11. Somewhere down this line is point number 5. And somewhere down this line is point number 7. What I have to do now is find out where on that line it is. And again, very simply, take my compass, set it to this distance here. Take that distance across, step it off. At the same time I can step off point number 11. At the same time I can turn my compass round and I can step off point number 5 and also point number 7. So I've now got myself another 4 points which I can number. Number 1, number 5, number 7 and number 11. Now the process is the same to find point number 2. Take my set square, draw a perpendicular line down where it cuts the circle until it hits this axis here. Now I'm looking for this distance, or I could take that distance back in from 3. It doesn't really matter, I just have to find out where this is on my line. So I'm going to take the easy option. I'm just going to measure from the centre again to keep it consistent. There's my distance there. Take my compass, set it to there. Now, because of the symmetry of a circle, the distance out to point number 10, if I draw a line down, that distance from there to there is the same as the distance from there to there. So at the same time, I'm going to take my compass, step it out. Once again, I'm going to draw my construction lines above and below the axis. Construction line above and below the axis. Now I have to find out where along this line point number 2 is, point number 4, point number 8 and point number 10. As before, I take my compass, step off the distance being as accurate as I can, step up the way and step down the way. Same on the other side. Take my compass, stepping up the way and stepping down the way. That now gives me point number 2, point number 4, point number 8 and point number 10. Now what I have to do is join these dots together using the best freehand curve that I can manage. I'm going to do it in construction line at this point because I know my shape comes out the way, so some of it's going to be hidden. So doing it the best way I can, I'm going to sketch round, trying to keep my hand in the inside of the circle where I can. That isn't always possible, but I'm going to do the best that I can. Now remember, it's a freehand curve, so it's the best fit. It's a bit like drawing the graph of a function in maths. You just try and find the best smooth curve that goes round all the points. So what we have there is our isometric circle.